Are you ready to manifest the love of your life? Are you ready for step-by-step instructions on how to manifest the love of your life? Is it too good to be true? In this video, as I share with you the manifestation steps to manifest the love of your life, it's going to be exactly what you think it is. It's going to be nothing like you think it is. And then we're going to wrap it all together so that you will walk away from this video never needing another manifestation video again, never needing an SP video again, because tag you're it. You are the love of your life. But don't worry, it's not just about you, though the majority of it should be. We are also going to talk about the other person. So we're going to talk about you, the other person, and how to map out your reality creation so that you walk away with the 3 C's of manifestation: clarity, certainty, and commitment. Because by the end of this video, you'll know how much of a commitment you are to the manifestation process as I take you on this channel from the lowest level of manifestation, which is repetition. We go through the transaction, and then we go to the commanding as we go from mindset to manifestation. Hi, my name is Dede Powerniak, and I am the Invincible CEO, and I am here to help you win big, and win all the time. This is the Invincible CEO, the wish-fulfilled playground, because it's exactly that. You are right now, you are in this beautiful playground, and your wish is already fulfilled. But can you see what's right in front of you? And even so with this video, do you even realize the value that's about to drop for you right here, right now? Because this is something that I'm sharing here. And not only am I going to share the video and the steps, there is a guidebook that you can request right now that will help you with this mapping process. So if you want the guidebook right now, type in the comment section below, guidebook. The only exception to that would be if you're already in my Wish Fulfilled community or you're doing the 30-day money challenge, you're already there. It's already up and waiting for you to download. You don't have to do anything further because you always get stuff before it's announced to the general population. So go into our Wish Fulfilled community group and download the guidebook. But I will be bringing it up on screen. Now, I'm not going to go into the full guidebook because I am going to do a training on that for my group program. So if you're in my group program, you will get access to it. And if you're wondering how to get into my group program, this weekend coming up, the 20th and the 21st, I'm having my next 2-day event. And in this 2-day event, we're going to be doing dream interpretation. I'm going to show you how to tap into that beautiful subconscious when your conscious mind's asleep, that does all the objections and creates all the contrast, and teach you how to pull those wonderful wisdom nuggets out. And after that 2-day event, our next group program training will launch in August. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you've been interested in working with a manifestation coach or a mindset coach, even though you don't need one, even though you don't need this video and you don't need the guidebook, but you know that you've taken yourself as far as you can go, and you know that what you're doing isn't getting you the results. So welcome, 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 my friends. Take a moment and like and subscribe and share the channel, share the video. That is really, to me, the paycheck of the heart. I can't ask for. Okay, so now let's get into this. You have a 24/7 feedback loop that there's only now. And you are always the operant power. You are always at the 0 point, the ground zero. And your thoughts, we've said here many times, are echoes, and they offer doors to realities. Every thought, every echo offers you a door to your reality. That'll never work. That is the door to the that'll never work reality. Go for it. That's for the go for it reality, right? So now, what's the manifestor to do? What's a master manifestor to do when all these echoes are coming at you? And not only do echoes come at you through your thoughts, but every single person and interaction, whether it's your phone or social media, it's an echo. It's not happening right now. Now, this video may seem like it's happening right now, but you had to bring yourself to it. It didn't come and get you. So when you bring yourself to something, you have to make sure you are totally zeroed out, that everything is neutral. And we're going to talk about neutrality in a little bit in this video with the workbook, because then you can make a clear, certain, conscious, committed choice right here, right now, so that a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, you won't be questioning yourself bringing wobble in. And you then train your mind, you condition your mind to what it is that you want instead of your mind conditioning you. This is so powerful here. So now let's start with you. You are the ground zero. You are the 0 point. You are the center dot of the drop of water that sends out all the ripples. And if you are sitting there right now, and the reason why I'm doing this video and it's taken so long for me to get it up here is because I wanted to do the guidebook. I wanted to take you through step by step, because you could use this for SP, but you could use it for money. You could use it for career. You could use it for business. You could use it for any topic, but we're going to do SP today. So I hear this all the time. I get these long stories and I appreciate that you send them to me. But you're scripting, when you send me those texts, when you send me those emails, you're scripting a reality that you don't want and you're giving it life. So you're keeping it here because I know you believe it's true. I know that you believe that this is what you've experienced, but if it's not happening in the moment that you are typing the email, right? Because all you're doing in the moment is typing the email. The actual story is not happening. You're relaying the story. This is how the now moment is so powerful, is because your subconscious mind takes you at your word, right? If I ask you right now to think of your favorite piece of pizza or your favorite hot cookie coming out of the oven, doesn't your mouth start to salivate? Because your subconscious mind, the moment you start thinking about it, it believes it's real and it believes it's right there. It doesn't need physical proof. So as you're telling these stories, that's the reality you're pushing out. And then when you start walking around and interacting and you're wondering how did I get here? And people say to me all the time with these emails, no, I've done all the work, Dede. I've done all the work. I've worked on myself. I've changed myself. He or she or they're still not answering. They're still ghosting me. They're still blah, 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 fill in the blank. When you're in the reality, you're in the reality. You don't have to ask for the reality. So if you have a car and it's on your driveway, you don't have to ask for your car. You could ask for a new car, a different car, but it's expected to be there. So we don't have that expectation of the person because we're still looking at the physical reality. The 3D reality is the be all end all proof. And I'm going to just do a real quick recap. And this probably will be a little bit of a longer video, but believe me, guys, you're going to want to stay here. So there's the energetic, which I call the inactive invisible. There's the mental, which is the active invisible. You take something off the shelf in the inactive, you start giving some attention to it in the mental realm, you start to activate it. And most likely the stuff in the activated realm of the mental then gets pushed out as the 3D because that gets more attention than what's on the shelf that's inactive. So now what this video is going to do, it's going to help you trust that the new mental reality that you are going to create, because you're going to script it out, is the true reality, and that the 3D, say it with me, they're leftovers. And if you take the leftovers, you go back into a rerun because you know what the old reality is going to give you. It hasn't given you physical reality of what you wanted, right? So say it again. Echoes to the old reality are leftovers. It's not happening right now, so it's leftover from another day. And if you take the leftovers, if you eat the leftovers, you're in a rerun. You're back on the loop. You know what to expect. They're not there. So when you tell me that you've done everything, you haven't, because you're not in the realization of the physical 3D like you want. So let's make the mental, what we're going to create today, the new 3D reality. And when the 3D reality tells you that he or she or they are not here, we're going to go right back into that mental, and we're going to go back to our guidebook. And this guidebook will blow you away. And I want you to put that in your comments when you see it. All right, so that's a lot. I'm talking a little faster because I want to get this foundation set before I bring up the guidebook. But before we go to the guidebook, you have to be the ultimate partner to yourself. Now, here's the thing I shared before briefly. I'll recap that after I went through my divorce, I gave myself a year before I would even consider dating at all, let alone wanting to be in a relationship. And I knew when I started dating, I didn't want to get into a relationship because I just got out of a really long one. And I wanted to take time to learn me. I wanted to take time to develop and expand me. I wanted to take time to fall in love with me because I'm the only person that will be with me my whole entire life. Everyone comes and goes. And even those people that will be with me for the long haul, I'm the only one around me 24/7. So I might as well love being with me And I know some of you have told me, I've been alone for so long, I'm tired of being alone. Just hang in with me, because you're never alone when you're with yourself and at this new level of expansion that you're going to be doing, because this isn't about, and none of the manifestations here are about getting the physical thing. It's about you learning how you create from the inception of the idea, which we're doing today, watching it unfold and be fulfilled until the receiving of it. And by the time you receive it, it should be so natural to you. It's like, but of course. But of course. All right. So you have to be the partner for yourself, because when you are so full, when you are so whole, regardless of what kind of person comes in, whether they're a romantic partner, a business partner, a friend, whatever they add on to you instead of making you complete. Because if they do have to go and they've completed you, which is very romantic, I get it, Jerry Maguire. But if they're the one completing you, that means if they go away, you'll be incomplete. So we want to make sure that you are whole and complete before we add anything onto you, so that when they come in and they go, you're still whole. And that was just a different experience. And you can choose to be with yourself again or to bring another partner in. So that is so important. So let's now, I'm going to bring up the guidebook. I'm going to share this. I'm really getting good with the shares. You see how fast we go there. So when you decide to download the guidebook, this is what you're going to receive. And we're going to go right to, we're going to go past that. Okay, so we're going to go to mapping your reality and its characters. And I'm going to take this down a little bit. And I literally, in the beginning, I want you to really map out, like you're about to write a book. You're the hero of the book, right? You're the star. And then this is your main supporting character, whoever they are. What gender are they? What nationality? And even though you still put it down, because even though it seems so obvious for yourself, you're going to start to expand yourself. Because if your height and weight is 5'7" and you're 150, but you really want to be a little shorter, maybe you want to be 5'5" and 135, you can put that in there. You don't have to give the exact of whatever this reality is. That's going to be really important. So I'm not going to go through all this stuff here, but I want you, though, to be as detailed as possible. And here's the thing. Oh, I know I wanted to say this, and this is so important. If you download the guidebook and that's all you do, that lets you see in the 24/7 your level of commitment, because your level of commitment, if you truly want something different than what you've had, the hit or miss, because without foundation, manifestation is hit or miss. And you'll get some hits every once in a while, but you'll also get a lot of misses, and those misses really sting, and then they kind of push away the hits that you would normally get, right? So this is about commitment. So if you normally download things from the YouTube and the internet, but you don't go and look at it, then your commitment is really low. Because once again, you've seen what the reruns are, you see what the leftovers are, and you got to be a rebel. You got to be so different than the version that you've been. So now you download it, and this is what I'm going to challenge you to do. Go and print it out immediately, or if you're not going to print it out, start working on it. Get a notebook out, get a piece of paper out, because I keep my notebooks very simple so that you can just duplicate it right into a journal and start mapping this out. And this is not a one and done thing. This is stuff that you'll come to over and over, adding more, adding more. And you don't even have to go in order. If there's certain ones that you just know right away, then skip around. But the whole idea is fill this in, because now the first one of the C's, you are committed. And your commitment will bring you clarity and certainty. So this is where you're going to be that rebel. And if you do a little bit of it and you don't go back, or it's a while before you do, then you can't be upset when your SP still isn't there, because you can't get it wrong, but you are making it long. And could you just go in right now, see you and your SP together, do a quick imaginal act, let it go, and it'll arrive? Absolutely. However, will your conscious mind allow that, or will it continue to point out why he, she, or they are not here? And what this guidebook does, what this mapping does, is that when that mind, that echo comes in and goes, they're still not here, they're still not here, go back and immerse yourself in the guidebook. Review it, add to it, see what level of reality you're on, because we will show you that later on in this guidebook. So these first couple pages are all about, and if there's categories that I missed, please add your categories. I really put in as many as I could without making it, right? Your SP friends, your friends, are there, and is there those that, they have theirs, you have yours, and are there anything in between that's combined, like a Venn diagram? So we got friends, homes, cars, clothes, eye color, shoe size, all the stuff. And this is exactly what I did. I didn't do it during the year of me with me. During the year with me, there was nobody else. I was it. Because if I wanted to put something down here, oh, I see how to fix that. If I wanted to put something down here that I wanted my SP to be, then I had to be it for myself. Now, it doesn't mean if they have a BMW, but you have a Honda, that you have to have a BMW. But if I want them to have a car, then I have to have my own car. That way, I don't need their car. So that's kind of the idea. You have to be, whatever you're putting down in these characteristics of your SP, are you already it for yourself? And show yourself through the experience that you are. Okay. So, and this is just getting more and more into the different things here. And I think I have about 4 or 5 pages of this. And some of these might not be important for you, so you don't have to fill every single one out. If it's not important, at least acknowledge it, NA, right? Because for me, ideas on government would not be important for me, but I know for other people, like I don't get caught up in politics. I don't do the whole politic thing. So that wouldn't be important for me, but it might be for you. So that's why I include it in here. Okay. Now we want to start putting words in their mouth, right? And this is scripting. This is how, if you were to write a book, if you were to develop a character for your book, you have to know that character inside and out. Will more of the characteristics of the character develop as you write the book? Absolutely, but you have to have a jump off. So let's go into the SP for a second. It doesn't matter whether you have somebody and they're already with you in a relationship, but you want to change the relationship, or that you have someone, but they've stepped away for a while and you want them back, or you have no idea who the SP. This works for whatever the SP situation is. Okay, so greetings. How do you, and I want you to observe, right? If they're in your life, how do they greet people? Hey, how are you? What's up? Hi, hello. Like, but not just your hi, hello, like all the things that make them them, and then do the same thing for you. What are some of your words that you use? Because a lot of times it's like, hi, how are you? But if I know someone, it might be, what's up, buttercup? Like, depending on my moods and change. So even though these are little boxes, when we're getting to the verbiage, I want you to go deep into the scripting here. How do they say goodbyes? What are your nicknames for each other? Do you have any? Do you want, if you didn't, do you want to have some? Your catchphrases. What are your catchphrases? I say things here in the Invincible CEO. You can't get it wrong, but you can make it long. But of course. So that's what people know me as. So you want to, and what you're doing here with your SP, whether you know them or not, you're endearing yourself because you're going into the realities of where they speak and you're hearing them say it as you write this down. And people will say to me all the time, Dede, it feels like I'm just making this up. Well, that's all we're ever doing. Even when the real SP is there speaking the words, you're making it up in the now moment. I know that might be hard for the mind to wrap around, but all of this is made up. And all of it is 24/7 virtual reality, real time. Do you have any inside jokes? Does that person have any odd sayings? Like they might say something a little off. Like my ex, instead of saying cupboard, he would call it a cupboard. He would be very he would be very literal with it. So like those little things that your person, and even with the kids when they were little, when my oldest daughter was learning how to say vanilla, she would say Tunella. She wanted Tunella ice cream. And I would stop her and I would say vanilla. And she would go Vatunella. So those little cute, odd sayings, I put 2 boxes there because I think they're so much fun. They really endear you to your characters and yourself. What odd sayings? And if you don't think you have any odd sayings, ask your people. They'll let you know some of the things that you say and other sayings here. Okay, so I really want you to spend time mapping all of this out for yourself. And so that before we get to the next part, because this is the special sauce, this is the thing that I feel that once I start to share this with my clients, regardless of the topic, and you can make a map of it so that you know, but you have to do all of this ahead of time. Do not skip ahead to the part of the building that we're going to be on. So let me set this up a little bit. I'm going to just come out for a second out of the screen share, and we'll come back to it in a second. So what this is, I want you to imagine that there's a building. And for the sake of the paper, I think there might be 8 or 10 floors of this building, but you can make a building 20 floors, 100 floors, however you want. The more specific detailed you can get, the better it is for you to catch what reality level you're on. And I've given this example before that if you decide to redesign your kitchen in your house and you meet with the architects and all the construction people, and you got the plans, the blueprints, you got all the appliances and furniture and what it's going to look like and colors and floors and color of your cabinets. And then you decide to go away for a week while they redo your kitchen, and you come home and everything is exactly like you asked for it, except they went on their own and to decide that there's this new trend where you can put a toilet in the middle of your kitchen with no walls around it. And that's the new trend. And they want your house to be trendy so that you can sell it and it'll sell quick. But that's not what you asked for. And because you have it all mapped out, because you have a vision in your mind, and this is the process that I use, because back when I started really becoming a conscious creator, I realized I was more auditory than visual. Now, I was visual, but not to the level of auditory. Auditory was just like my natural thing. And just like with any talent, we have these talents where we don't have to practice. We could just go and step into them, and that was auditory. But visual, for me at the time, was something that I had to practice. I had to repeat. I had to really give my focus and attention and intention, because I knew through that it would then become my natural state. It would become natural to me, because instead of avoiding it and going to the auditory, I was now giving it my focus and attention. So this is literally what I do when I have something in mind. I did this with my YouTube channel. I have the vision back in 2023, December 4th, right? December 4th, my YouTube channel had 135 subscribers. And now we're almost at 8,500. Because I took the time and I mapped out my YouTube channel. Was I making it all up? Yep. Got my delusional outcome. I brought my conscious mind in. My conscious mind's take on it was even more delusional than the subconscious, go figure. Merged them together, and what you've been experiencing here has been the beautiful unfolding of the mapping of my YouTube channel. So if you take the time and map it out, you'll be able to see what level you're on when an echo comes in, because you're always on a level, but what level are you on? And is that the level that you chose? And I'm going to walk you through that now. So we're going to share the screen again. Here we go. Let me get it to where I want it to be. Okay, so imagine that this is a building, and each one of these levels are a floor. And you're here now about to walk into the building, and the building has an elevator. This is what this represents in the middle. Okay, so I want you to see that your SP, whichever one you're thinking of, already exists on all the levels. And you already exist on all the levels. And I named these levels the best that I could. You can use this, you can expand this, you can do your own, whatever, how you know what the feedback that you've been getting, so that you know what level the echo is when it comes in. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So if we start here, you walk into the building, and on the ground floor, level 1, it's the ghosting level. How do you know it's the ghosting level? Well, look over here, SP words and behavior, no contact, totally disappeared. You're on the ghosting level. So let's just say we're starting there. And now here's the menu, right? This is the menu. What level do you want to attach to right now that you could feel that your conscious and subconscious would willingly accept it? So can you believe that you're already 3 years in a fully committed relationship? That might be too much beyond you, and that's okay. That's okay if it is. You'll always be leveling up. Could you believe that you're 3 months into the fully committed relationship? That might feel a little bit better. How does it resonate within you? Or maybe you are happy coming in and doing your wish fulfilled, your imaginal act at the commitment level where there's the proposal, you move in together, there's exclusivity, whatever it is that you decided that is that for you, what commitment is for you, because it's different for everyone. So let's say that you decide to do your imaginal act at the commitment level, and you do an imaginal act where they're proposing, or maybe you're proposing, depending on what the situation would be, or that you've just moved in together, whatever that means. Whatever your level of exclusivity, the commitment level. So you go now and you create your imaginal act, and this is the mental state, right? We know that it's not physically there, whether they're going to move in where you're at, or you're going to move in with them, or you're going to find something different. You can map all of that out, but it's what it implies. It doesn't have to be exact. And then you go in and you start repeating this imaginal act 20 to 10 to 20 seconds, maybe 15 to 20 seconds. I always say at the beginning, don't use words. Let the actions speak louder than words. Let the actions in the imaginal act be the implication of what it means. Commitment to you, only you, no one else. Okay. So now you're committed and you're certain that you have chosen and you have given it within yourself. This is the transaction. When you do the imaginal act, we go from repetition to transaction. And you stay with this transaction and this imaginal act until you feel a sensation in your body. That's your confirmation email. That is how your subconscious, you might yawn, you could sneeze, you could feel a flutter in your belly button, you could feel your heart expand. Whatever it is, that's the confirmation email of the transaction. Did I do it enough? Do I need to do it again? Transactions are one and done. But sit with it until you're so certain that it's done, that this is now the mental reality is the new reality. You don't give a flying kite what is happening out here. Because out here, you originally were on the ghosting level. So now you go about your day, maybe a day or two passes. And what I suggest people to do is that if you're at the commitment level, and let's say a proposal is part of that commitment level for you, and you just did an imaginal act, whether you proposed or they proposed, then I would start planning the engagement party, right? Looking for a venue. Like, what exactly would you be doing the next day after the proposal? Picking a date. What would your role be in that engagement party? Start planning those things, because you can't mock your subconscious mind. So if you start, this is what the acting as if is, that it doesn't have to be all day long, but when you start planning, just like if you planned a trip, you booked your tickets, then you're going to start, what am I going to take? Do I need to get new clothes? Do I need to put the dogs in the kennel? Do I have to stop my mail from coming? Like, you start taking those steps in between. So whatever those natural progressions of that is for you, you're going to start doing, because then your subconscious mind knows that you mean business consciously and that you are clear, certain, and committed. So now let's say a couple days go by, and what's being offered to you by the SP shows up. And sometimes you don't know it with the first interaction. You're just thrilled that they show up. You're on the commitment level, so you're staying here, you're not moving. But within a few interactions of them, you realize that you are looking through the eyes of the version of you, because all the versions of you are on these levels. There's not just one of you. This is how I see it. If I come out of one level and I'm going into the elevator, as I step into the elevator, the body stays on that level. The consciousness only goes in the elevator. It goes up, so that when I go to whatever level I'm going to, and I open the door, there's a body for me to jump into, and I animate that body and then walk into that reality. This is the visual I've done for this for me. So let's say you're here, you know that you have done the commitment level imaginal act, it resonated, and you're starting to act in reality as if this is what's going to happen. And you don't care when, and the less you engage with the lower echoes, the better. But let's just say they show up and their actions seems interested, they interact, they disappear. Sometimes it takes a couple interactions to realize that what's playing out is the hit or miss level, but you're immediately going to go back in your elevator and go back up because you didn't choose that level. You're not going to be upset. You're not going to, if you react a little bit, you're going to calm yourself down, go to 0 point, let that level be because it exists. Even if you never had to go through this and you're 3 years in a fully committed relationship, they all exist, but you never danced with them. So, okay, so you do that and you go back to your commitment level. And you might even say, you know what? I might even play around at 3 months in a fully committed relationship. What were we doing on our 3-month anniversary? Would we be celebrating monthly anniversaries? Like all that fun stuff. Okay. So now the next interaction comes in and we have the exclusion level, meaning they're interacting with you. You get texts, you get calls, you get dates, but there's no interaction in their life. Like they're not introducing you to their friends, or if you already know their friends, they're not, double dating or bringing you to life events, right? Or it could be that they are letting you know that they're dating you. Well, date you and others is that they're not letting you know that there's others, but you have a suspicion that there might be a 3P. And most of these levels down here below the neutral level, there's 3Ps involved. It's just an assumption that that's the kind of level that would have 3Ps. So if there's a third person, you're playing down here with date you and others and lower. That's the assumption. So when let's just say you now had gone back and you're off the hit or miss level and you're able to come up to date you and others, you want more, but it's really, you feeling that there's someone else, but they're not telling you, but they're not ready to fully commit. Don't get caught up in the 3P. Go back in your elevator. Go back in, center yourself, remind yourself of your level. You chose, you are the operant power. You chose. So go back. How many times are you willing to go back in and retrain your mind? Because it's trying to go, how about this? Because that's all the level it can give you based on you having to let go of all the other stuff. Let go of the past. There's only now. You chose the commitment level. If you let go of the past, you will go right up to the commitment level. But if you're still talking and thinking about that time they did this, that time, what about this? That's what keeps you down here. So now you go back in and you come up to the neutral level. Now, I've said this before, what's happening in the now moment is boring and it's neutral. It's this or that. And there's nice interaction here. But at the neutral level, there's not going to be any progression. So you have great dates, texts, conversations, you're being introduced with people, but it could stay like that for all eternity. Like there's no talk about a future life, a commitment, an expansion. But neutral, because it's boring and because it doesn't seem like anything's progressing, can send you on a downward spiral. So when things are nice, that's when you realize that you've neutraled out. And sometimes for me, I will stay deliberately at a neutral level and enjoy the repetitiveness of it, the boringness of it, until I know for sure that I'm ready to go back in and up level again, because none of the negative stuff that was below the neutral level, below the neutral level is what you would call negative. Neutral is neutral. And then, of course, now we see movement and commitment as we go up above the neutral level. And that's why you also want to make some dialogue here. Obviously, the ghosting level, there's no dialogue. What would they be saying at the hit or miss level? What would they be saying at the exclusion level? What would they be saying at the date you and others? If you say, oh, is there someone else? Oh, no, there's no one else. I'm just busy. Like you have to know what they're saying so that the words will always, the actions and the words will identify the reality, the level that you're in of reality. Because There's different actions and there's different words here at each of these levels. So now you go in, you're at neutral level, you let yourself stay there and just enjoy the goodness that's in front of you. All the stuff that you've been asking for, but because you want that commitment, let this be. Enjoy the dates, enjoy the interactions, go a little deeper, get to know yourself, get to know them. There's no rush. When you're the operant power and what you've chosen is chosen, there's no rush. Enjoy every step. If you're going to run a 5K, it's not about the starting line and the finish line, crossing the finish line. It's about running the race and enjoying yourself as a runner. So now you go in and you are doing the casual dating. You're finding evidence every day of progression. You're scripting their words. This is what they would say at this level, and you're shocked that they're actually saying your words back verbatim to you. And this is exciting, and you get excited. And don't worry if you dip down here for a second, because you know the version of them that's at casual dating and there's really good interaction is not the same version of them at hit or miss. That's why I put them here. They exist on every single level. I always say to myself, who am I and where am I? I am the Dede of the commitment level. Then where am I? What's the feedback I'm getting right now? And if I'm the only one in the room and there is no feedback, then I'm on my level that I chose, because there's no feedback to contradict it. That's what the now moment is. That's why we love the boring now moment. But when the interaction comes, there's a big difference for me if they're in person in front of me, or if it's a text or a voicemail or something that's more removed. Because these lower levels, when you really start to up level, they only show up as a text, because it doesn't take a whole lot of energy for your mind to create a text, but it takes a whole lot more energy for your mind to render your person in front of you saying the same thing. So for me, I'll give an example of this. If, let's say I owed somebody $1,000 and they text me and say, you still owe me this money, give me my money. There's a big difference between a text and them knocking at my door, wanting to see me in person, saying, you owe me $1,000, where's my money? What is their level of commitment to getting the money? Not that I'm not going to pay them back with the text, but I have a little bit more wiggle room and time than I would if they're standing right in front of me. And that's why what's happening in front of you, if it's not happening in front of you, it's not happening. It's in a mental state and it is another imaginal act. Do not let that new imaginal act go against what you have chosen. That's why in a marriage ceremony, the officiant says something like, what these two have brought together, let no one pull apart. Basically, what they're saying is echoes go away. This is a declaration. There's clarity, there's certainty, and there's commitment. That's why we have ceremonies. That's what the transaction is. It's a ceremony. So then when you're here at this commitment level, you might not even have to do the other two, because you just now know this is where you're headed. This is where you're headed. And if you go all in at the commitment level, because you're already that partner for yourself, you're already that partner for your partner, that if they were to disappear today, you would be okay, because it's all about you. And I always look at it this way, regardless of what the topic is. If I can do it once, I can do it over and over again. And it gets easier after that because the foundation's built. So I put here for SPs, and then I put some more here for general topics to map things out for you. And it's always my goal to make this as easy as possible for you. And there's something about visual mapping, but here's the thing, that as you're writing it down and you choose your reality level, after I choose my level on the building, then I go and I write a narrative. What does this look like? What does it look like tomorrow? What does it look like a month from now? What does it look like 6 months from now? What does it look like a year from now? And you know what's so fun about scripting is you get to, as the time progresses, you get to go back and look. And what I found in my scripting is what I put 3 months from now happens in like 5 weeks. What I put 6 months from now was right before the 3-month part. So because I'm in the flow and I have a foundation to flow into now, that if there's even time for echoes, The second an echo shows up, I have my map. I have my foundation. Just like with the builders, right? The builders with the toilet in your kitchen. Here's the foundation. There, it's not here. Get it out. Get it out. Get it out now. And this is why I love what I do. This is why we take the repetition of mindset and we use mindset as a foundation for manifestation. And we take the time to build the foundation so that your energy and your focus and your attention can flow into it so that you have clarity, you have certainty, and you have commitment. So now, if you are not willing to do the commitment, it's not as important to you as you think it is. Because if I were to say to you right now, here's the winning Powerball tickets, here's the winning Mega Million tickets, all you have to do is go buy the ticket. Don't change any of the numbers. Go buy the ticket. It may not be this time, but these are the winning numbers. I guarantee you, and you will be the sole jackpot winner. Tell me how many times you would be willing to go back. Because when you get, if it's 10 times and it doesn't happen, then you've met the version of you that stops you. Because the reason why I am so successful in everything I do, that if I say I'll do this 10 times, when the 10th time comes, I do it 11. I do it in the gym all the time. If I'm going to do 15 reps on my set, because from where I'm starting, I feel like 15 would be it. But if I get there and 15, I still can do 3 more, I'm going to do the extra. And even if it's burning like it never burned before, I'm always going to do 1 more. Because as my partner said, Kervin, the first one doesn't count. First one doesn't count. So throw in that extra. But I'm showing myself that even though I made a choice, I'm willing to do the extra. So if it's 10, right, I'll do it 20. I think there's that beautiful Bible quote of how many times to forgive. 7 times, 7 times 7, 7 times 70. Like, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Because you're the operant power and you're learning to how to activate, align, and anchor within yourself, because it's not about the money. It's not about the people. It's not about the experience. It's about you. It's about the who is you. Who are you? And which version of you, which eyes, which level of reality are you looking in? How do you know? Because there's feedback. And if there's no feedback, you're at your level. If there's nothing going on right now, when you shut down this video and it's pure silence and quiet, you're at the level that you didn't even choose yet, because your subconscious mind is always way ahead of you and has all the past laid out. All it needs for you to do is to choose, to commit, and be certain this is what you want. And that's it. That's manifestation, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see how many people download the guidebook, share if you're in the private group already, share your mappings. If you're going to get the guidebook, you'll be added to the private group. We're happy to have you. Welcome aboard. We do manifestation so different here. I'm so excited for you to be here, to share all of this with you, because I truly, 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 truly will do everything I can in my power to help you win big, win all the time, because that's what I'm doing. I'm showing you how I'm so successful. And it may seem like a little extra work in the beginning, but that to get a rocket off the ground, it takes a little bit of extra effort. But once that rocket is up, it's gone. Once you have your momentum going, you're going. And it's not something that you have to think about. It's who you are. All right, guys, once again, this is how to manifest the love of your life. You're already here. Can you see what's right in front of you? And this is truly the last SP video you will ever need. Enjoy.